Interesting that you would choose to talk about the number 1 ranked basketball team before we introduce our next guest, Jerem Jordan, who played against the number 1 ranked college football team in his career, the Miami Hurricanes. Ty Detmer, the offensive coordinator at BYU, is with us in Studio B. Ty, you do this interview and you can just go home and go to sleep. Okay?
I figured Jerem would just do it for me, with his impersonations.
Yeah. We don't have the cutout yet. Once we get the cutout, I'm not sure if we'll need you in studio anymore.
We are going to do that.
That would be great with me.
But shot fired back.
If you had a message for Dave Rose about playing the number 1 team in the country, what would it be?
Shoot, man, let it rip. What do you have to lose? You
can play loose.
Go for it. So they'll do well. I think they'll play well. They're a young team, and sometimes a young team like that, they do play loose. So I think it'll be a great game.
Well, are we going to see you in the Rock like we did last game, Ty?
I probably won't be in the Rock. I mean, that was special circumstances. So
yeah, they tweeted out the Rock smells like Heisman right now.
I saw that. It's pretty good.
What did that smell like?
Yeah, pretty
my next question.
Don't get too close now.
Breaking down the offensive players now on National Signing Day. We'll start with the quarterbacks, fittingly, and a guy that not a lot of people knew about until the last minute, Joe Critchlow. Of course, you had him on your radar for a little while longer. 6'4", 210 pounds, out of Franklin, Tennessee. He's on a mission right now in Montreal. But a good get that gives you some depth at quarterback.
It does. He's a kid that Ed Lamb recruited to Southern Utah while he was on his mission. His parents kind of reached out and told him they had to clear it with Southern Utah first, all the rules and regulations. But he's a pro-style type of quarterback. Had a chance to listen to some interviews he did before he left on his mission. And student of the game, understands it, great leader. Ed spoke real highly of him, was thrilled they had him at Southern Utah, and so we feel like he does give us some depth and another guy at that position.
Chad Lewis called him a cougar carrot because he's a redhead.
Yeah.
I was like, I hadn't heard that one.
Like
before.
only Chad can.
Yeah, like only Chad can.
Right.
Yeah.
You can only make fun of people like yourself. So.
Wait, what? Mason Fakahua, quarterback, 6'3", 210, out of Salt Lake, Mission first guy, dual threat.
He is. He's very athletic. He's a guy that, will start out at quarterback for us. And then, we feel like if it's not a great fit there, he could play anywhere on the field. He's very athletic. If you watch his junior film, it was option and all sprint out. Senior film, they allowed him to be in the gun, a little different type of offense that probably was better for him. And he made some really nice throws. Just a great young man, great attitude. And we're excited he's joining us.
Correction, Cedar City, not Salt Lake on them.
Oh, okay. Had his skill set, by the way, compared to Kai Nakua. So interesting.
Who was a
there.
quarterback safety in high school?
I would say very similar. You look at him, and Mason's bigger, I think. So he may be a backer type of body if he does go to that side of the ball.
Now to the running backs, led off by Jackson McChesney, 6 foot, 187 pounds, out of Highland, younger brother of Austin McChesney, who already plays on the team. This is a guy that comes with some prestige. He was pretty heavily recruited nationally. Yeah,
he had one of the higher Spark scores that they it was a combine type of deal that they measure kids at, speed and athleticism, those kind of things, and he kind of blew everybody out of the water. And so he's fastest kid in the state last year, won the 100 meters, and his brother's on the team. Great young man. He's kind of one of those guys that plays in the slot, plays in the backfield, very versatile. You can do a lot with him. Runs with power, catches the ball really well, and like I said, he's one of the faster kids in the state.
Mission first?
Mission first.
Okay. Mango Finau, offensive lineman, 6'5", 350, from Hawaii. I was told he can 360 dunk.
And he played volleyball.
And he's 350.
Yeah.
Is that true?
So he just turned 17 in December.
Wow.
So he played his senior year at 16. We had dinner at his house, and his mom, I think I gained 5 pounds just eating all the food she prepared. It was great. And he's a young man with a high upside, will come for a year and then go on his mission because he won't turn 18 till after the season. So he'll be with us in the fall, and we're excited about him. He's got a huge upside, literally.
We're looking forward to getting the story on how he got the name Mango. Mike Empey joked with me. He said, "Hey, Spencer, the pants you're wearing right now, he couldn't fit his calves through those things, man."
That's the upside we're talking about. Right? You know the story, Mango?
His mom and dad said he's had it for forever, so I have no idea.
Well, there you go.
Yes.
All right, moving on to tight end now with Bentley Hanshaw, the son of former Cougar great Tim Hanshaw, 6'5", 220 out of Moore Park, California, the alma mater of another former BYU tight end, Dennis Pitta.
Yes, we're hoping he turns into that. But Bentley's a kid that he played wide receiver up until this year. We told him we were probably recruiting him as a tight end, so he kind of made the switch in high school where he could play with his hand on the ground, but he's good in space, long, big target that, quarterbacks like to have that big wingspan and catches the ball really well, really refined as a receiver. And so we're excited that he's coming. He'll probably come for a year and then go on his mission. So we're hoping he can come in and help us this fall.
And you played, 2 years, I think, with his dad at BYU, and then he was in the NFL with the Niners, too.
I did. Played a year at San Francisco with him.
Oh.
So.
Very cool. Ty Detmer, the offensive coordinator, Heisman Trophy winner, with us in Studio B, talking about all the individuals on the offensive side of the ball. We've heard from the head coach, Kalani Sitake, and the defense coordinator, Elisa Tuiaki, as well. Also at tight end, 6'5", 230 pounds, one of Max Hall's guys at American Leadership Academy. His name is Donovan Hanna. And Max brought him to camp, said, take a look.
He did. Donovan, I think, just figured out football's his sport last year and kind of got going, came to camp, and really impressed everyone there with his athleticism, his size. He's got a sister that's a collegiate volleyball player, so a very athletic family and really well coached. Max, he kind of knows what it takes here, played here, and Donovan's one of those guys. And so he was coached really well this year, had a really big year for him. They won state. And we're really thrilled Donovan's coming, but he's going to serve a mission first and then come join us. So we've kind of got some tight ends staggered a little bit, where a couple are coming, a couple are going, and then in about 3 years they'll all be here together.
So going into this fall, Donovan Hanna's senior year, did you notice that Max Hall just called plays for his BYU recruit? Just throw it to the tight end, man. That's all we need.
We talked about that at this summer, when he was here for camp. Just throw it to our guy, So
get those stats going. Yeah,
exactly.
We need some notoriety.
Another tight end, Isaac Rex, and another legacy guy. Byron Rex, of course, played here. Tight end, 6'5", 235, San Clemente, California.
Yeah, he actually was first team all CIF, I believe, as a middle linebacker last year. And then took over at tight end this year and was same thing, all CIF as a tight end this year. So very versatile type of player, a lot bigger than Byron was coming out. Byron, I think, 6'2", and Isaac 6'5", and just a great kid, great young man, one of the first to commit to us when offered, and knew this is where he wanted to be. So he's got a lot of upside as well. I feel like, he can play on either side of the ball if needed, but tight end will be his main position.
Is that a unique element of BYU, where BYU is such a unique place, and if someone's parents played here, sometimes those kids want to play too. That makes it a little easier to recruit, right? Like, you don't have to sell them on BYU. It's already sold. Yeah,
for sure. It makes it easy because they've been around it. A lot of times the parents have come back to games, so they've been around the culture. They understand it, and so that does make our job easier at times. But other times it doesn't. Sometimes we don't always get those guys. Mm-hmm. So it's can go either way, but Isaac's been on board since day one.
Oh, that's a nice segue to a guy you found in Texas who didn't know a lot about BYU, and his parents especially. I met them last week. Tarik Buchanan, who is one of those versatile guys that could play either wide receiver or defensive back. He's out of Elgin, Texas. How did you find him?
Yeah, so actually Claude Bassett, who was a linebacker coach here when I played, recruited me from Texas to come play at BYU. Was his coach, and so he kind of alerted me, hey, we've got a couple kids here you may want to look at. And Claude was here. He understands what BYU is all about. Tarik's a great young man. His parents are pastors, so he's very strong Christian based, and his mom loved the honor code, loved all that goes with BYU, and Tarik does too. And so he's a kid with top end speed. He gets behind coverage quite a bit, so we're excited he's coming. He's going to be a part of the offense to start with, but we also know he can play defensive back too if needed.
10.8 in 100.
So fast.
10.8's legit. Like, this is top end speed, like you said. You can use that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we need more of those sub 11 guys, and he's one of those guys.
Seth Willis, back to the offensive line, 6'6", 325 pounds, out of Sandy Hook, Connecticut. A guy that was also on Michigan's radar, recruited heavily by UConn and Maryland and Utah State, but decided to come to BYU. Why do you and Mike Empey like Seth Willis?
Well, 6'6", 330. That says a lot right there.
And we're going to see more of this, right? I mean, you're going back to the bigs.
We're trying. If you look at all of our linemen this year, they're 6'5", 6'6", and guys that are versatile. They're athletic. They're mean. They're nasty. We love how he finishes plays. We actually, someone from his ward emailed us or called and said, hey, you need to look at this kid. Being all the way in Connecticut, we would have never known he was there had we not got some information, came to camp.
Wow.
And, man, I mean, he was exactly what we're looking for. Big, nasty guy that loves to play, and he'll serve a mission first. So we'll have to wait a couple years to see him on the field, but we're excited with him.
Ryan, is it Rico? Rico? I've heard of Rico, like Uncle Rico. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Punter and kicker.
Of course you would make
6'5". How much you bet I could throw this here football over them mountains? From Veradale, Washington. That's a big dude. 6'5", 205 for a kicker?
He is. He's long and athletic. His mom played college basketball. His dad's coaching high school basketball. He plays basketball. He's a very athletic kid that kicks, punts. Really, I think we're targeting him more as a punter. But Coach Lamb, he really likes these guys with size and athleticism, so that if we do fake one, hopefully we can get it. I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
The best part about that, Johnny's been so self-deprecating.
Hey, Johnny.
Hey, Johnny, we know you're watching
Not that
now.
Johnny's not athletic.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
You got to be athletic to be a rugby All-American.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was well played, Ty. Now, you can do that all day here. We support that.
Right. I've seen the show. I know what it's all about.
Yeah, we support that wholeheartedly.
Now, wide receiver was a question I had going in. I thought you guys would maybe pick up more wide receivers, but you and Kalani have said we're very confident in the guys we have and the guys that we're redshirting.
Yeah, and one of the things we had to look at when we first got here last year was numbers. And so there weren't a lot of scholarship numbers in tight ends for whatever reason. And so the receiving numbers were high. So as you balance out your scholarships, so many at each position, for us to now populate the tight end group, we had to pull from other positions to kind of get things back in balance a little bit. So you have so many at each position. And so this year we were really, a couple guys, and that was probably going to be it. And so, but you look at Tarik, he could play DB or receiver. Keenan Ellis, same thing. So based on need or injuries, those kind of things, we feel like, we want versatile guys that could play either side of the ball. And as we go forward, we'll start targeting other guys at receiver or running back, those kind of things. But we're young at the skill positions right now. We'll only have one senior at receiver and none at running back next year. So you may not see a lot of recruiting those positions based on the numbers that we already have there and guys not leaving.
So who are the guys you expect a lot from in the wide receiver group next year? Is it Aleva Hifo, and what happens to Moroni Laulapututau, and obviously Jonah Trineman?
Yeah, so fortunately, some of those young guys got some experience, like Aleva. Jonah played quite a bit for us. You got Bo Tanner, Talon Shumway, and then guys that were redshirting, Achille Davis. Achille Smith's a quarterback. Achille Davis, Micah Simon. We've got some other guys that were there that were redshirting and just did scout team people kind of forget about.
Yeah.
And then, so, with that whole group, we feel really good about it. Moroni will probably move to a little more tight end role full time. And, you kind of mix and match and move them around a little bit and try to maximize what they do best.
Are those your snow boots, by the way?
These are not my snow boots.
These are not your
no,
snow
it's
boots.
Not snowing.
But there's snow outside.
But the sidewalks are clear now,
Yeah.
so I did actually break down and bought some actual snow boots.
Oh, you
now.
bought some?
I did, yeah.
Wow.
You're becoming
My cowboy boots were getting ruined a little bit. The leather soles
That's not
were
good.
like
Snow is not good for cowboy boots.
Yeah,
snow
this
and
is in
salt.
Austin. yeah, and that snow salt doesn't know. Yeah.
Or for my car, potholes. Good grief.
Yeah.
Ty, great stuff, man. We appreciate it. Always enjoy talking to you. And congratulations on a ton of hard work. This is, people don't know, and I only know because I hear about it a lot. But this is an amazing effort that the coaches put in to do this.
Our guys, our coaches, they go 100% and would go more if we had the budget for it, probably. So it's been great, though. It's fun to get to know the kids, get to know the families, and as you see, we really get to know these kids and know a lot about them and love them up when they get here. So
rest well, my friend.
Thank you.